What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Mike. I am a part-time reseller on eBay and a part-time YouTuber on YouTube. Since my last video, sales miraculously decided to come back for me. I was sitting pretty low and at a pretty low point on eBay. You start having the thoughts of giving up, doing something different. But you know what I did? I decided to start listing. One thing I was slacking on was listing. And that's something I guess some of us need to be honest with, is when we're not doing something correctly in our business or just not doing something the right way, we have to be honest with ourselves. And I knew I wasn't listing. So literally as soon as I started listing, I think I listed over 40 items in 2 days. I had 9 sales. And I'm literally feeling on cloud 9 right now. Things were selling as I was listing them, which made it even better. I mean, the feeling of like listing stuff and then within a couple minutes to an hour and you're already done, moved on from that item and made the sale, it's pretty cool. So one thing I will say, since eBay does not seem to be helping me with selling my items with my higher promotion rate, I'm going back to basics and I'm lowering my promotion rate down to 2.1. That's what it used to be when I first started everything after I first started promoting. And all my new listings, every one of them started with the 2.1 rate. I don't wait to promote, I start promoting right off the bat. But all of my new sales that I did sell, they were all organic sales. Not one was promoted, which is awesome. The other thing I'm noticing too is the impressions. My organic impressions are going 10% higher than they normally have been. I don't think that's necessarily because I'm not promoting as much. It's just for the fact that I'm putting stuff out there that people want and they're finding it without the need of promoting anything. The other thing that's quite interesting too, which goes along with the promoted listings and not delivering on their promise of promoting my listings, is my promoted listing views have always been lower than my organic views. Even though I'm getting 50,000 promoted impressions, I'm literally getting 30 to 40% promoted views. So there's a huge disconnect there, which just shows you're getting a lot of useless traffic from promoted views. And it also shows that if you list stuff that people want, and yes, I said want, not necessarily need. I know there's a group out there that's saying that you need to make a pivot to start selling stuff that people need. But a need for someone can also be a want at the same time. It goes to people collecting stuff, wanting stuff to finish a collection, or just something they wanted for a while. Those wants become needs. Everyone that's watching this video knows that they've had wants that they didn't necessarily need, but they need it. You know what I mean? So going forward, I'm dropping promotional rates. I'm going to stick it at the 2.1 because I still think there is a pay-to-play aspect to the whole thing. And I don't want to drop off and become a ghost on eBay. But at the same time, I'm tired of paying more to the eBay Mafia than is necessary. If I'm going to get the same results with 2.1% versus 5.1%, eBay doesn't deserve that extra money since I'm doing most of the work. They're not doing much work at all to promote my listings. Until eBay can actually come out and give us some concrete data on how promoted listings work, there's really no point in going any higher than 2.1. There's nothing that's proven that, hey, I got 10.1% promotion and now I get 10.1% more benefit from it. There's nothing. For all we know, you get the same promoted availability and visibility, but you just pay more. They haven't been able to prove, and I don't think they'll ever show us how it actually works, because I don't know if they actually know how it works. There needs to be something more concrete from eBay, as if, like, if you pay 2.1%, that means this. If you pay 20%, that means that. Because they're basically selling a service to all of its members without being able to explain the benefits. Besides, they're promoting your item. But they cannot specifically tell you what that promotion is, how it works, besides, yes, we're going to promote your stuff. All you know is they're going to take that much percentage out of your profit. And like I said, at the end of the day, you could probably promote 100%, 2%, but you might get the same visibility. So why are we giving them more without concrete evidence that it actually pays off? And as most people know that have jumped their promoted listings up to spark a sale, or to go into panic mode and be like, oh my gosh, it doesn't help. Nothing helps when it comes to promoted listings. It all seems like a crapshoot, and then at the same time you wonder, if I wasn't promoting that listing, would that item still have just sold on its own? Probably, but you'll never know. One thing I like about eBay and going to the thrift store is you get to find stupid stuff like this, like these knockoff Jim Beam Pit Viper glasses. I probably look ridiculous wearing them, but I love them. The Macho Man. Oh yeah, brother. What you gonna do? That's more of Hulk Hogan. I just noticed there's some guy next to me looking at me like I'm all kinds of crazy, which he ain't wrong. He ain't wrong. All right, so let's get into the what's sold. All right, so we have the little people. They're the turtle replacement parts for the Noah's Ark. I had the Noah's Ark boat and a bunch of animals, but the boat itself is not that valuable because I was missing the door and it was kind of awkward, the ship. And it turns out the other animals I had, only a few of them were actually for Noah's Ark. So I listed them all separately to see what would happen, and looks like someone needed the turtles to complete their set. And they sold for $9.99 plus shipping. I still have a few other replacement parts out there, and there's some interest in them. They'll be a little bit more long tail, of course, but I've already made my money back by just selling the turtles. And I made money too. This next item is way out of my wheelhouse, way out of my comfort zone, but it's one of those days where, I couldn't find anything at the thrift store. All areas were dry. So I went down the little trinket aisle, the ones where they have all the precious moments, teddy bears, and everything else you could imagine, snow globes, whatever. And I saw this. And it's one of those items that just catches your eye. And when you pick it up, it's got some weight to it, which is nice. You already know it's quality when it's got a little weight to it. And I didn't know what it was. I mean, it's like a tile, I knew that, some sort of wall art. But it's a Janet Otko pottery hanging art tile. And a whole bunch of these were available, except this one I couldn't see online to get any comps on it, so I just went with everything else. And they go for about 50 bucks. And I had this one listed for only a little bit, just like a lot of the sales I've been getting lately. Just list them, sell them, list them, sell them. And some lady contacted me and wanted to purchase it. I gave her an offer of $5 off, and she accepted it and was super excited. She has, I guess, one in the front of her house, and she wanted to put one in the back of her house too. So it helped complete whatever, vision or whatever thing she had going on with her house. But that was pretty cool. So something I've never sold before or kind of stay away from was that like breakable aisle, the ones where you're like, oh my gosh, how the heck am I gonna ship this thing that's gonna shatter in a billion pieces? Well, I dipped my toe into that market and it paid off, so I might venture down that aisle more often, but I'm not rushing to that aisle yet. All right, and this next sale, it's a hat. Now, I know the hat market has dried up. It's harder and harder to sell hats, but these types of hats, they almost always sell. It's just a matter of what price they're kind of going for at the moment. And they're restaurant hats. This one right here, this is a Jimmy John's hat. Just a basic worker Jimmy John's hat. This one sold for $10.49, plus shipping, of course. And that's about the going rate. You could probably get maybe a little bit more from. But I actually had a Jimmy John's hat once that was like a very unique one that I've never seen before. It almost looked like an original Jimmy John's hat. And I got, I think, like 20 to 25 bucks for that one, which I thought was pretty cool. But yeah, you see Jimmy John's hats or any other hats like that, people like to buy them. If you find a McDonald's hat or stuff like that, don't sleep on them. This next one was pretty cool. It's the last one I have of a nice sized lot of these. It's a Mycene doll Hudson. I had stumbled across a whole lot of these. By a whole lot, I mean a lot of them, like 6 of them. And I paid up for it. And when I say I paid up for it, I paid 30 bucks for all 6 of the dolls. And this is the last one that sold. This one took the longest. I don't know why. But these dolls were all preserved in great condition, and they had all the accessories for each doll, which is pretty hard to find. These are from 2003, and some of them, and I did sell a few of them for pretty high. Some of them go all the way up to about $60 to $80, which I did get a couple of those sales. This one's not so sought after, and it sold for 20 bucks plus shipping. But at the end of the day, these things were definitely worth the price. And what's funny is I would have walked right by these back when I first found these. I actually was watching a YouTuber flipping junk. He found these the day before I found mine, and he was talking about how don't pass on these, it can be valuable. And I literally found them the next day. It's kind of crazy how stuff like that works. That's why me and my friend always joke about the Matrix. You say something, you see something, you hear something, and boom, it's right there. It's in your face. It's like fate.
What is he doing?
He's beginning to believe.
I am the one. All right, this next sale is nothing great. It's a long tail item I had. I was hoping when I first got this one, I had another one too, and I still have that one, different color. I was hoping when I got these that I could probably get about $12 to $15 for them. Well, turns out there wasn't really a market for them, but I was like, well, I bought them, so I'm just gonna let them sit. And I lowered the price, and then I sent out an offer recently, and they took it on this particular color. These are little gleamers, loomers, and they have glowing tails, and they make weird noises and stuff. I don't know much about them, but it sold for $6. Still made my money and some profit on both of them already, just from that sale. So Will I pick them up again? No, because I've seen them already, and I just walked away from them. And it's one of those things where earlier in my reselling career, you spot something, it looks interesting, you look up the comp quick, and you're like, oh, I can flip that really quick for this much money. That was before I really looked at sell-through rates. But it sold $6 plus shipping. It's on its way. I still have one. I'm not worried about moving that now because I have got my money back on that, and it can sit as long as it needs to sell unless I run out of room. Here's a next sale I had. For some reason, when I first got this, I thought this was part of the Ninja Turtles. It just kind of looks like that. I think it's from the same era too. It's from '96. It's Captain Simeon and the Space Monkeys figure. I don't even know what this show is. I don't recall seeing anything about this or watching this show. But it had some okay sales comps on it. It was definitely not a huge sought-after item, but someone came looking for it eventually. They bought it for $12.99 plus shipping. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of this show. Let me know what it is, but I definitely thought it was Ninja Turtles. This sale, this one's really cool. I stumbled across this sale just looking at purses. Now, with my Vero on a purse, I rarely go into the purse section, but I do go in there because I have found this, hoping to find another one. This is a Pokemon Pikachu Game Boy Color carrying case, pink and purple. This one sold real fast for me. Sold it for $39.99 plus shipping. I was going to charge up to like $69 for it, but none of the comps I saw were even close to $69. So I was like, I'm going to go $5 above the highest comp and put it at $40, and that thing sold almost instantly. So I guess I could have raised the bar on it, but I didn't want to get greedy. And at the end of the day, I'm okay with a $40 sale. And this is a really cool thing. Like Game Boy Color stuff, Game Boy DS, especially Pokemon. That's all really cool stuff, and it sells pretty fast. I never had, well, I lie. I did have a Game Boy, I think it was a Game Boy Color, way back in the day, and I had like the original Pokemon game for it. But I let that go after about a year. I just kind of didn't like it. So I like getting this stuff, a little nostalgia, and I know it sells. Next sale it's another sale that literally I listed the thing and I got 8 watchers on it in seconds, and right there I knew I made a mistake, and the thing sold like 5 minutes in. I didn't go crazy on the price because other ones that were listed were like $12. So I'm like, okay. So it's this Oakley hat, and I know Oakley is a very popular brand, very expensive brand, but these hats new go anywhere from like 25 to 50, but all the used comp hats were going for like $12. So I'm like, well, mine's in a little bit better condition. I'm going to list it for 15. I guess I should have bare minimum went for like 20 or 25. The thing like was a rocket and just sold instantly. But at the end of the day, when you get items super cheap, you're gonna take a $15 sale any day, because I think I got that hat for maybe $1, and I'm not gonna complain about that. I don't think anyone would or should complain about a sale like that. It sucks that you could make more money at the end of the day, but hindsight's 20/20. Just move on with your day and be happy we made a profit. This sale is kind of different. So this is a green ghost monster from, I think it's 1996 or 97, Ghostbusters Extreme line of toys. And I had this in a lot with a blue ghost monster and a Ghostbusters trap accessory. I was selling the whole thing for $40. And someone contacted me and said, hey, I already have the Ghostbusters trap and the blue ghost. Would you sell the green ghost for me, you know, because I don't need the other two. And I said, you know, possibly. I said, what do you plan? Well, you know, what are you thinking? And he just said, you know, $15 plus shipping, I think is fair. And I just said, sure, that sounds fair. And I broke up the lot and relisted it. And he purchased it for $15 plus shipping. And I relisted the other items. And so that kind of sale right there, like I picked up all three of those items for 99 cents. And I sold the one for 15, and I still have the two others left over. And that's how I source, like cheap. I hate paying up for items because I hate being behind. I don't know if that's the right word, in debt, because I'm not in debt. But you know, like spending more than you want. Every time I buy any kind of stuff from the store, if I have like 10 items, I always have one item in there where I know if that one item sells, and I know it will sell, I get all my money back plus more. I hate the fact of buying stuff and thinking, I hope this stuff sells. I never want to buy stuff with a hope that it sells. And then the last sale, which came in bright and early this morning, I just listed this one also, like many of the items I've sold. It's Star Wars wing flapping porg. These little porg guys got a lot of hate when the movie came out. What was it, The Force Awakens? And there's some people that think they're super cute. Other people think that they're the ugliest thing and most annoying thing ever. They got a lot of backlash, like Jar Jar Binks did back in the day. But like all Star Wars stuff, there is a market, it's collectible, and as you see, he's Halloween themed in a pumpkin. And I got this just the other day, and I was like, I have to get this listed. We're literally directly in the middle of the Halloween season. It will sell. And there was only one other list, and they had theirs for 80, and I could have went there, and I could have went higher possibly, but I wanted to move it fast. So I listed it for 70, undercut them a little bit, and then accepted an offer for $59 plus shipping. And once again, you know, listing product, selling product, you know, rotating through my product quickly is something I love doing. I also love building inventory because we're heading into the fourth quarter, but I don't think anyone would complain if you list 5 things and sell 5 things. That would be a bad thing. So as you can see, sales are booming again for me. You know, these types of sales may not be booming for other resellers, but for my size of my business, this is exactly where I want to be. This is my eBay working well. And I know it works well when you start seeing offers pop up, the ability to send offers out, getting messages, listing things, seeing views. It just works well. Now, I'm fully assuming that within a day or two, or even today, that my sales will be shut off again, because that's just the way eBay goes. I'm trying not to care as much, because we all know that sales are bad and then sales are good. It's just a matter of time before you get the sun to shine on the dog's ass, you know, as they say. The sun shines on a dog's ass. I don't know, some stupid ass saying like that. But the last 2.5 days, the sun was definitely shining on mine. All right, guys. Well, I just wanted to make a video, tell you about how things were going with me. I'll keep you in the loop as we go forward, let you know if things are continuing on in a good pattern. Just a quick update on my mom. She had a procedure done, which it went well, and hopefully, if it stays good, she'll be out of the hospital in a few days. So fingers crossed. But until next time.
I said give it back now. Noah!
Larry, what the hell are you...
Larry!
you can't just... Oh,
Larry! Oh, are you all right? How did you...
Larry! Righto, what's going on here? Oh!
Sir,